Hi friends, welcome to today's video. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to do a one brand on the Ulta Beauty collection, which is Ulta Beauty's in-house makeup line. I thought I'd do things a little bit differently for this one brand and just focus on the complexion for this particular brand and explore the products, the formulas, and I feel like I've got a great mix of different products to use, primers, setting sprays, an interesting blush product, which we'll get into in a minute, the foundation, concealer, a really nice baked bronzer. So I feel like I have quite a few things to try to give you my thoughts and opinions and share with you what I think about the formulas and the end result, as I always do in these one brand videos. So if that sounds good, then just continue watching. I'm starting off with the Ulta Beauty Mattifying Primer, and I'm just going to push that into this area where I have larger pores and over the nose just with my fingers, and through the chin, between the brows. This primer does have quite a silicone feel to it. It is quite thick and it looks like a traditional silicone-based primer. It does make the skin feel really soft. I've used this before. This was actually a product that was recommended to me by one of you. My lovely subscribers shared their favorites, and this was one of their drugstore options. And I've been using it on and off since I posted that video. And I do like how soft it makes the skin feel and look. And I also think it's very similar to the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I think that's what it's called, the Photo Finish Primer. And it gives that same sort of blurred effect, which is good, and I like it. Next up is foundation. I'm going to go in with the Complexion Crush. This is a medium coverage foundation. This is what the new rebrand looks like. In case you are not familiar, they recently rebranded the packaging and their beauty tools. So this packaging that you see with the up-close shots of the primer is what it used to look like. Different color, different font, and now it looks like this. Their compacts are also different, which I will show you some up-close shots. I do like the rebrand. So we're going to go in with the Complexion Crush foundation, and I chose the shade light medium. Online, it looked like it could be fine, and in person, I was kind of debating if I made the wrong choice with color. We're going to make it work anyways. There is a bit of a clear window here for you to see what it looks like, which I do appreciate. But I feel like this could potentially be a little off. So I'm going to take off the seal and we are going to get started applying this. I'm excited to try this one. I've never tried an Ulta Beauty foundation, so I'm personally curious to their formula. Throughout this video, I will also be incorporating a few of the Ulta Beauty collection tools. So I have the double-ended brushes, and I also picked up their marshmallow blenders. So this is a sponge that feels really soft. It actually truly feels like a marshmallow, which is unreal. It's soft, it's squishy, it has the look of the marshmallow. It's got that sort of ombre, sort of toasted look on the bottom, like a toasted or roasted marshmallow, which is pretty neat. My only issue is that I put mine under the water today and wrung it out, wrapped it in a paper towel, and I squeezed really hard. And now it looks a little bit weird and it feels kind of a little firm. I feel like there's still quite a bit of moisture in here. I've washed this already once before and it went back to its original shape. So I'm not sure what's going on. I feel like my toasty marshmallow sponge is wanting to take the day off today, but I'm gonna try to make it work anyways and use this for the foundation. Here we go. So I'm going to use, whoa, I feel like that is way too dark. So, okay. I really did it this time, didn't I? Wow. Let's just see. I'm going to use, do you hear that? Does the mic even pick this up? It feels like I'm just hitting myself in the face. It's too early in the morning, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I feel like this one is a sponge that's going to take a little bit of time and air drying to kind of come back to life, because this is kind of odd how it doesn't look right. I'm going to still use it though. I'm still going to blend this out. This may be a fail, but this side that I'm holding feels really soft and squishy. And I like how it has like ombre tint, so it doesn't, I don't know, it kind of helps conceal the look of the makeup on there, and then it keeps this side here looking more white and clean. I don't know. But I just can't get over this sound. I can't. I'm going to switch to the dual-ended multi-sculpting brush from the Ulta Beauty line to continue blending this out. I like the size of this because I feel like it covered a larger surface area pretty quickly. It's just, it needs a little bit more time to dry so that it kind of feels like a normal sponge. Right now it just felt too hard, and it just felt like I was hitting myself in the face with a little bit too firm of a sponge. So, which I've already done reviews on these double-ended brushes. They're actually really awesome. at blending in the makeup. The quality is great. They wash and hold up really nicely. And this foundation actually looks really nice and smooth right over the Ulta Beauty primer. Besides the match being a little off, which again, that's my doing, not the foundation, it looks really pretty. Do you see that? It's smooth. I haven't used all the amount that I squeezed out onto my makeup palette. I still have, let me show you, quite a bit left that I could use to maybe build this up a little bit. So let's do that. Let's build this up just a bit more on this side because I do have a little bit more scarring on this side than I do on this other side. This foundation retails for $16 for 1 ounce on the Ulta site, and I pulled up the site here to read to you the claims. It says that it is a foundation that's lightweight, feels and moves like second skin. I do think that it's really lightweight and it looks really nice, very natural looking. I did mention the medium coverage on this. It says that it covers imperfections easily, blurs skin texture, and evens skin tone, but still allows your natural beauty to shine through. So I like this foundation. I think the shade is just a little off. We can adjust that with concealer, scale back the bronzer, but I do so far, my first impression is that this foundation does feel really nice, looks pretty on the skin, blended in beautifully right over the primer. Next up is concealer. This is the Complexion Crush Full Coverage Concealer. I picked up the concealer to match the Complexion Crush line. This is $12 and it says it's supposed to be a full coverage, super blendable formula that leaves a weightless matte finish. Luxe creamy texture can be used to conceal, highlight, contour. Bonus, major waterproof benefits. And this is formerly known as the Full Coverage Concealer. So let's give it a go. I ordered the shade Light Cool. I feel like this could also potentially be a little bit off in color, but I think I can make this work. And I like the doe foot. The doe foot applicator, as you can see, comes to a point on the top and then it widens as it goes to the base of the applicator. And it's almost like a paddle shape. Do you see how thin it is when you turn it on its side? So I think this is going to be a good one for getting right into the inner corner. So let's do a little bit here and right out here where I have discoloration, and let's just work with that and see how this covers and where this takes me before I put too much on, because this is a full coverage and I do want to use the opposite end of the multi-sculpting brush, which is basically the small side version of the larger one that I use for foundation. So I'm going to use this to pretty much spread this out, and I typically will go in with a sponge to finish blending. So we will try this out. This brush is really good for getting right in this inner corner here and blending that out. I'm just going to kind of pat and blend and use this brush to do most of the blending and covering for me. That blended out really nicely, so I'm going to take the bigger side of the brush and pat over to blend a little bit more and kind of blend and fuse that concealer shade, which is lighter than the foundation, so that it doesn't look too light under the eyes. I like that. I actually really like that concealer. I'm going to take what's left on my brush and go around the nose. You can use the concealer to highlight, as it says. You can contour with the same formula, but a deeper shade. And they have quite a few options and undertones to choose from. So they have cool, they have neutral, they have warm, lots of shade options, and that looks really nice. I really do like that. So let's do the same thing on the other side. I feel like that little amount that I use is sufficient for me personally. I'm going to take what's left on my concealer brush and go in the center of my chin, center of the forehead. Again, not putting extra product, just using what's left over just to kind of balance things out, because the foundation is a little bit on the darker side. Now that the concealer has been blended in, I do really like this formula. I like the coverage. I do feel like it gives a pretty full coverage look to the under eye area. It's also very easy to blend. It doesn't feel like there's anything on my under eye area. It does feel like it needs to be set. So for me personally, I will follow this with a loose setting powder. You can do a tinted setting powder. You can do translucent, a pressed one. But for me personally, I do need to set this because it will crease on me, as with any concealer. But I do like how it feels. I don't want to say super hydrating, but it does feel like it's kind of adding a little bit of moisture without making my skin feel dry. Sometimes full coverage concealers and foundations can make the skin feel dry and tight and make it look dry, but this is not the case with this formula. I really do like the way this looks. Under eyes and T-zone are set. Let's move on to bronzer. I picked up the Oh My Glow Baked Bronzer. I love a good baked formula. This one is, actually, I don't know what the shade is. I will have to look it up and see. I think this only comes in one shade, but this is what the new packaging looks like. I like the rebrand. You see has a clear window. You can see right through it. I will show you some up close shots so you can see a little bit better. But I like the clear window where you can see that really beautiful marbling. And that's one of the beauties of a baked product like this. You see swirls of different shades together and it looks so pretty. And I like how this has what appears to be a very soft glow to it. I hope it's not too shimmery. This one seems to have some kind of deeper bronze shades, some lighter shades, a little bit warm, some neutrally shades. So I feel like it's a mix of different undertones and tones of bronzer. So I think this is gonna be really nice. I'm gonna go into the dual-ended finishing powder brush, the number 144. I'm gonna use the larger side to pick up some of this. What I love about the baked formulas is that they look very natural and very soft and seamless on the skin. I love the formula of baked products, blushes, bronzers, highlighters. Even you can find some baked type of face powders, finishing powders. They just look so pretty and they offer a subtle kind of glow, and it's different for each brand, but the look of it on the skin looks so natural, and that blended in with ease. And I am going very softly with the amount that I'm using because my foundation is a little bit deeper. I should have ordered the fair shade in the foundation. And up close, I see just a hint of a glow, but it's not shimmery where you can see it on the skin. There's no big pieces of glitter or big specks. It just looks really soft and very natural. So I do really like the way this looks. I'm going to take some down my neck as well to help blend my foundation into my neck a little bit. I typically don't like to use a lot of makeup on my neck, but in today's case, I'm going to have to. This is where the fun happens. I have two options for blush. The first one is the Flushed Blush Powder Blush. What a mouthful. I picked the shade Cotton Candy. I feel like this is a really beautiful, soft, light pink that looks to have a bit of a satiny kind of feel to it and look. It doesn't have an obvious shimmer or sparkle to it. It's actually really pretty. It looks like almost nothing on the skin, but these types of blushes, I think, make it look really natural on the skin. That blended out really nicely. I've tried their formulas before for blush a while back, I think a couple years ago, and I picked a pinky type of shade, but it actually had glitter in it. I was really apprehensive in getting one of their blushes, but if you look at them in person, they're really beautiful and you can really see which ones have the shimmer, which ones are more satiny because of that clear window. And I will point out that mine is kind of broken here. I don't know if I did that trying to peel off the seal, but I did break it here. So just kind of warning you that this plastic cap isn't the strongest and best material, especially that little clear window, but that could have been me because the bronzer feels like a more substantial, like thicker plastic. So just wanted to point that out. The next blush is the Twist Tint Blush. These are supposed to be color adjusting, so they look different and wild, like this one that's blue, but it's supposed to shift and turn color. These are made in Canada, and it's a color shifting lip and cheek stick. So the shade that I ordered was Blue Raspberry because I thought this is kind of cool. This could go very wrong if this doesn't turn color. My cheeks are going to be blue today. My kids will really like that, but I won't. Not so much mama. So this is what it looks like. Honestly, when I saw this, I immediately thought of the stains from Milk Makeup. Those came out earlier this past summer. I didn't pick them up because I just wasn't quite sure if they were actually going to blend and be user-friendly. So we'll see. I'm going to give it a go with this version, which is a bit cheaper. And I like the small little compact size. It looks like a little pocket blush almost. We're going to give it a go. Let me just show you. So it feels very wet when you rub your finger on the top of the product. And it does look to have a glossy look. But as you can see there, it is looking really pretty, that nice kind of pinky shade. So let's do a little swatch here and see what happens. So initially it looks like it's just a very clear type of gloss. Do you see that? I may not personally like the finish of this formula because it does feel quite glossy. And there is a subtle hint of pink coming through on that. And it's supposed to go from blue to pink. And this one specifically. Do you see that? The Twist and Tint product comes in 4 different shades for $12. This is the blue raspberry one. They have one that looks orange, one that looks green, and one that's pink on the outside. The pink one is the watermelon. I'm just gonna swirl my finger across the top of the product, and then I'm just gonna lightly dab because I feel like this could go wrong if I swipe, where it could lift the foundation and the bronzer, but I like the staining aspect because it's going to last a little longer ideally. So I'm going to use just a touch of this to demo this and kind of try something different. I'm going to go for a little bit more and try to see if I can build this up. There, maybe you can see a little bit, yeah. Here's that Twist Tint in blue raspberry. Here are my thoughts on this Twist Tint. I do think it's quite gimmicky, honestly. I feel like it gives a soft flush of color, but personally for me, it's not enough for blush. I love blush and I want more. And I feel like I'm kind of holding back on applying more of this product specifically just because it has that kind of balmy, glossy feel and look to it. And I feel like it's just not one that's going to wear well throughout the day with my natural oils producing through. Definitely not a formula that I would wear in the middle of summer because it's just too balmy, too lip balm gloss feel. I think it would be better suited for a lip product. It did blend in nicely. It didn't lift too much my foundation underneath, maybe a tad, just because of the nature of the formula going on top of powders and other products. Of course, that's gonna happen. But the overall end result, it's cute, but it's not something that I would reach for on a regular basis. I will circle back to this product for my lip combo today, and I will kind of incorporate that and show you what that looks like towards the end of the video, but I just don't see myself reaching for this every single day, and it's not terrible. If you like a glossy, balmy look to the skin, something very sheer and lightweight and just like a tint, you may actually really like it, and I would say give it a go. But if you really like a intense blush look, I feel like you're gonna desire more and want to layer it with something else and put some other products on top, which I will be today. So let's go into that pressed blush in the Cotton Candy shade. And I'm going to pat right over the top of the Twist Tint. And as you can see, it's definitely building up the color, and that is more my speed. This color is so pretty. And as I said before, it almost looks like nothing, like it wouldn't show up, but it does. It has some pigment, and it is showing up a little bit more pigmented up here because that's where I put the Twist Tint. So obviously I knew that that was going to happen. So let's try to soften this out just a little bit. And I feel like this blush powder definitely took down that emollient feel of the Twist Tint. So let's just blend this out with the larger side of my brush and diffuse this a little bit more. So yay, this blush is a definite win for me. This is the completed complexion routine for the Ulta Beauty collection. I actually really like the way this looks, and I feel like everything blended well, applied well. The shade matches, again, that's my fault, not the product itself. I actually like this, and I will use these products again. Even the Twist Tint that I wasn't too big of a fan of, with the finish being too glossy and being a little bit more on the sheer side, I can see myself using it again as I did today, first and then layered on top with a blush, because that blush definitely took down that kind of glossy feel and it doesn't look wet on the skin anymore, which I like. So I'm happy about that. That would be the only one product that's kind of a little so-so for me in today's video. The last and final thing is the Matte Veil Setting Spray. Again, this is another product recommended by one of you. My lovely subscribers, you guys shared your favorites, and I have loved all of those products that I've been using since posting that video, and this is a great setting spray. So I'm gonna kind of do a quick mist and set this and lock this into place. And as I said in that video testing out your drugstore favorites, this setting spray feels very substantial. When you mist this on, you feel it. You feel it coating your skin. It's not as ultra fine as other ones on the market. Even though that may not sound like the most pleasant experience, it actually coats your skin very evenly. And I feel like the sprayer is a heavy duty sprayer, so you do feel it. You feel it kind of coating the rest of your body. I feel like I've put setting spray over my entire body today. I can feel it kind of settling into my lap. But I do like the way this kind of sets the makeup and keeps everything looking really nicely and set throughout the day. And this will stay like this, hopefully, through the rest of the day. And this is the final result. I'm going to quickly do an eye look and a lip look so I can show you how everything looks all pulled together, and I'll be right back. So I've got to say I'm really impressed with the way my makeup looks today, and I do think that these formulas are pretty great. It's probably something that is very slept on. You go to Ulta and you go for your drugstore products or for the prestige side or hair care tools, and maybe you do forget to take a look at the Ulta Beauty, and I hope that this video will inspire you to stop by the Ulta Beauty selection, which is pretty huge, I have to say, and take a look. Pick something up and try it. You will probably be pleasantly surprised with their formulas. I look forward to trying more from this brand. Maybe we can do this again with some Ulta Beauty eye products in the future. I will list everything that I'm wearing for the rest of my face down below for the eyes and also for the lips. So let's talk about the lip combo. So I started off with the L'Oreal Color Riche Worth It lip liner. This is one of their newer additions from this past summer. I lined and I lightly filled. And then I went over the lip liner with the Twist Tint in Blue Raspberry, and that's all I'm wearing right now. It's a really soft kind of look to the lips. It almost looks like a sheer wash of a really pretty everyday type of pink. So I do like how these two complement each other and work really nicely. I think the tone of pink on this cheek product from Ulta Beauty Collection is really nice. Feels really comfortable, like I just put a lip balm on. So now I can actually tell you what it feels like versus just the texture feel on my fingertips. Now rubbing it between my lips, I can tell you that it feels exactly like a lip balm with just a kind of sheer, slightly glossy finish. It's not ultra shiny and glossy by any means, which I personally like that, especially since I'm using it on the face. I don't want it to be super glossy and wet looking. For today's eye look, I decided to keep it simple. I took the bronzer with a fluffy crease brush and ran that through the crease. And when I did that, I was able to actually see the more sheen and shimmer that this product has. With a big fluffy brush, it diffuses that look so you don't really see it too much. But when you use it as an eyeshadow or with a crease brush, you will see it a little bit more. And I can definitely see that it has a soft kind of satiny sheen. It's not overly metallic by any means, which again, I appreciate that because I am using it on the face primarily. So I like how it gave a bit of a sheen to the lid area. And then I thought, since I'm using this bronzer as my eyeshadow, why not take some of the cotton candy and also run that through the crease with the same brush, which is what I did. And I took those two and ran that on the bottom of my under eye area to smudge out some shadow sticks, which the shadow stick that I'm using is this Brown Bliss shade from the L'Oreal Lace Shadow Stick line. These are incredible. I've reviewed these already. I bought more. I bought more because they're great, and that's my lazy liner. I took that right across the top and under the eyes, smudged it, mascara, called it a day. Super easy and simple, and I also like how these products are quite versatile. I'm using the blush and bronzer as my eye look, so it kind of makes my process of getting ready pretty easy, and I do like the end result. It's a very simple eye look, nothing fussy, nothing crazy. My inner corner and brow highlight is the L'Oreal Infallible Highlighter, which I will link these also. These are phenomenal. Everything will be linked and listed for you down below. I hope that this video review was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions about anything, please feel free to reach out. I love hearing from you guys. I will do my best to respond as quickly as possible. If you'd like to share your favorites as well in the comment section, let me know what your favorites are. Give me your recommendations. Also share with me your feedback on the Ulta Beauty collection if you've tried it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll do this again in the future. Follow me on Instagram. It's here on the screen. Take care, you guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.